assuming that our presumptions are right, and I think they are, because it seems pretty obvious.
Granny, did you shave one of your brother or sister's eyebrows off?
Now, the conversation with the flashlight confirms that someone else shows up and then actually asks us,
and then
we
when
should
you
leave.
ask,
Yeah.
is there someone else here?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and
That was when you started counting to 5, or when?
we were counting the number of people here,
Yeah.
Right.
and then it was like, basically I don't remember the exact question and answer, but basically it was like, you guys should leave.
Right.
So everybody kind of got up and left at that point. Some of them quicker than others. I knew your sister was one of the first out the door.
Yeah.
So we just had a K2 hit.
My heart's so big.
Oh,
Did you make that K2 either? Line up for us?
ask if somebody's in there. Ask if somebody's in that other room.
And the light stays on.
Somebody just walked by in the other, turn the light off. Somebody just walked by in the other room. Did somebody just, hopefully that was on the camera.
What? Was it Uncle Sonny?
That's why I like this particular section of video, because you can pretty much see it when it does come on and off.
Yeah.
Can you flash the light for how many people that are here with you, or how many are with, how do you word that one?
We had a hard time with that, too.
Yeah, go back for that. It's actually like a clicking noise or a rustling. Did you hear it?
Yeah.
And it was more than just
No,
that
it's
one.
not Taylor.
Because that started to turn before that one. Yeah.
Right.
Did they ever commit a crime?
And at this point, I actually almost felt nauseous. I mean, it was just like almost an overwhelming feeling. But yeah, I mean, that was really a phenomenal piece of evidence there. That I've never really experienced anything quite that lengthy. I mean, we've had some great K2 conversations here, and we had some at your house when the 3 of us investigated.
Here being the Martin house.
Yes, the Martin house. But that conversation actually probably lasted 15, 20 minutes,
Right.
and we left and came back, and it continued. In my opinion, it's phenomenal. I mean, you just don't have that kind of activity in your typical home. We came back in, and we had the conversation continue for a few more minutes with a presence that had shown up, and from what we got from the conversation, the rest of the family had gone away somewhere. We didn't know where, but they weren't present anymore. We're assuming that whatever showed up that the family didn't like made them uncomfortable enough that they wanted to leave. So, after talking to it for a bit, having a conversation the best we could, we felt like we were running out of activity. Things were slowing down, and we called it a night. And we did get a few EVPs, and I'd like to go through those with you guys now, and then we'll jump into the second night's investigation when it was myself, Jennifer, and Robbie. And you'll find that interesting, I'm sure. All right, well, let's go over some of the EVPs we caught from the first investigation with Christy and I. This particular one is interesting. You can hear us talking. You hear my voice right in here. And right afterwards, there's a strange noise, and we'll just see if you can pick up on it. Can you find something? Like that? See if we can make it a little better, a little more audible. We're gonna amplify that up a little bit. play it where he wants. And see, my personal impression, it sounds like a cat hissing, and then like a cat, I don't know if you call it a cat cry or a moan, like if it was hurt or very angry. But just take a listen and see what you think. And then if we, just before that there's some whispering, but that's Christy's nephews, I believe. We'll loop that one part there. There were cats there. I know when we were there we actually heard one of them meow. But this is in the house, and it's actually in the kitchen area. And there definitely weren't any cats inside the house. And that sounds like it's pretty close to the microphone. For a hiss, it's almost like it was as close as I was when I was talking, and I was probably 3 or 4 foot from the recorder. So that's a pretty interesting EVP, I thought. And nobody reacted to it. I mean, if we would have heard a cat hiss, somebody would have said, wow, did you hear that? But nobody did.
And you also got to realize with these recorders, you also have to actually speak loud enough for them to pick it up, too.
Exactly.
So it had to have been loud enough in order for the actual microphone recorder to pick it up.
Yeah, if it would have been audible with our ears to be loud enough to hear,
Right.
or if it would have been an audible sound that picked up, we would have definitely heard it.
Right.
And we didn't, or we didn't react to it anyway. This is an interesting one, I thought. And it goes back to some personal experiences that were had, where a couple people have heard the word no whispered in their ear.
Right.
You'll hear some other noises, possibly someone talking. Let's see what we have. Yeah, there's a little bit of whispering in the background, a lot of clicking and banging. If we listen to just this area right here. If we can loop it. Definitely sounds like a female voice whispering no.
Which seems to be a trend with a lot of EVPs in this house. I mean, I even with these, I wasn't on this investigation, but you'd actually sent some to me, and I'd gone through some of them. And what I noticed was that there was a lot of, it seems to be a lot of female voices.
Yeah.
I mean, to my ear, that's what it sounds like.
Right. And there were several of Christy's family members that actually died at the home,
Right.
including her great-grandmother and her grandmother,
Right.
which would be 2 female voices that we could account for. And this is not a great EVP, and it could be explained away. But
Probably really scary. We close the door.
Just because I know that.
okay, you can hear us all talking, but between this point and this point, you'll hear what sounds like somebody breathing very labored. Sort of like that. Kind of in the background, but it's definitely there. I can't explain what it is. I think if it were one of us, I would have remembered it.
We close the door.
Can you hear it?
Yeah.
I mean, it's nothing phenomenal, but it was just a piece that I couldn't explain. And that kind of wraps up the EVPs that we got on the first investigation. But I think between those and the EMFs that we caught, which were just totally unexplainable in a house with no electricity, and the experience we had with the flashlight going on in